Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver
Hey guys,
now.
Bix Weir, roadtoruta.com. I want to focus today on solar because that's all that matters in the silver price scenarios. The only thing that matters is solar production, solar consumption of silver when it comes to silver. Price doesn't matter. We know they rig the price on the COMEX. We see it every day. But the solar thing is the massive elephant in the room that nobody still seems to be talking about. I've been talking about it for over 2 years. And the reason people aren't talking about it is because the powers that be, the people at the Silver Institute and Metals Focus, lied through their teeth about what happened last year. And we're halfway through, more than halfway through this year, and they're lying through their teeth again. Again. At the end of the day, no one's going to remember these idiots. But the reality is the amount of silver going into solar will destroy the manipulation factor that has hit every single market, but especially silver. Because you need physical silver to make solar panels to save the world. You're trying to save the world. Don't forget, that's what the left will tell you. We're trying to save the world with green energy. There, to me, yeah, there's a balance, but should we really be putting all this valuable silver into solar panels? Well, Bix, that's an economic decision. Exactly. Because the price of silver has been held so low for so long, it is used in all kinds of bizarre places that it should not be used in. Solar is a great example. If silver was $2,000-$3,000 an ounce, which it should be, they wouldn't use much silver at all in solar panels. They use some, but they wouldn't use as much as they're using right now, which is hundreds of millions of ounces every year. Much more than what the Silver Institute says is about 200. It's about double that. Last year was about 400 million ounces. This year, 500 to 600 million ounces. How do I come to those numbers? It's easy. All you got to do is watch what they can't manipulate. They can't manipulate the amount of solar power being installed around the world. So, our analysis of silver today will take a walk down, once again, the solar industry, what's going on this year, which is so important because last year they cheated, lied, and stole, so nobody's talking about it. This year, they're going to have to do the exact same thing. And here's what I am talking about. Every number in a red box right here is a lie. They changed historical numbers to say, oh my God, silver went up 60, they said 64%. Silver usage in solar went up 64%, but it's not true according to their data. According to their data, it only went up 38%. Why? Because they changed the numbers. Right here, 2022, it went from 140 million ounces, right here. This is their Silver Institute's own report, and they brought it down to 118 million ounces, so that it makes it look like the percentage is higher. Because you can't have solar installations jumping 76% in a year, and silver usage only coming in at 38%. But that's what the numbers show according to the Silver Institute. That's how the big lie happens. And go to roadtoruta.com, look at these first couple charts. And here's an email I sent to Mike Dorenzo and Philip Newman. These are the two guys who run this report. And it's pretty much just two guys. And I said, hi, Philip and Michael. Hope you are both well. Now, this is after the year ended in 2023, but before they came out with their numbers, because I said, what are they going to do? They can't do it. They're going to have to show the world how much silver is actually being used. And they didn't. They lied and they cheated. I said, hope you are both well. I've had discussions with both these guys. I've noticed that neither Metals Focus nor the Silver Institute have commented much on the shockingly high solar installs and panel overproduction for 2023. This is a major development in industrial silver, and yet neither of you have released proactive announcements to the industry about what a sea change this development is for the industrial silver demand. It is now a widely accepted fact in the solar industry that there was 76% growth in solar installations in 2023. My own calculations put the total 2023 silver consumed north of 350 million ounces, with 250 for the 76% growth and 100 million in warehouses because they overproduced. On top of that, there was much more TopCon, which is over 30% installed in 2023, which was more than previously projected, which would obviously further increase the amount of silver consumed in solar. Surely the extra TopCon has compensated for any silver thrifting that took place, if there was any. From what I can see, the push has been for better efficiencies with more silver rather than thrifting. That's a fact. That is a fact, no matter what they say. Although I don't have a great handle on the overall overbuild of panels in 2023, I have read articles stating that Europe and China are bulging at the seams with excess panels produced in 2023. That's mostly the PERC modules. The PERC modules, they've basically, the technology has leapfrogged from PERC to a higher efficiency TopCon, which uses more silver. And a lot of those PERC modules that are sitting in warehouses will not come out, will not be installed. Nobody wants to put in a less efficient solar panel when they're looking at 25, 30-year analysis of how long this thing will pay off. Anyway, the shocking part of it all is that very few people in the silver industry are discussing or even know this information. I don't know if it's the Silver Institute or Metals Focus that should be giving the industry a heads up, but it seems that nobody is saying much of anything at all. Do you think this is as big a deal as I do? Bix Weir. For both of them, I got a response. Oh, just wait till our report comes out. Then their report comes out, and they show 191 or 193 million ounces, which is literally half of what it was. It's so embarrassing. So here we are today. That was 2023. We're in 2024. The exact same thing is happening. Maybe not up to 76%, but it is massive solar installations this year. Again, using more and more silver, even more TopCon. I expect 70 to 80% will be TopCon, which uses about 50% more silver than the PERC. It is so insane that this information is not out there. And nobody on the silver side is talking about this. Nobody. It was like a passing thought. No, we're talking 500, 600 million ounces of silver going to be used. That's insane amount of silver going into these solar panels. Considering we only mine, 820 million ounces a year? And the vast majority, well over 50%, is just going into solar? Anyway, here we go. 3 days ago, China to build massive solar farm as part of a multi-billion-dollar project. China announced recently plans to build an 8-gigawatt solar farm, which would be the largest in the world when completed, according to Electrek. The solar farm will be part of nearly $11 billion project which will consist of mostly clean energy installations. And let me see when this is going to be built. It'll provide electricity for 6 million homes, population of 110 million people. And where does it say? Here it is. I think it said somewhere in here, it said they will be, here it is. The facility will be built in Inner Mongolia region of northern China and is projected to come online by June of 2027. See, this is the the thing that you got to know. All these numbers are already baked in. When I tell you there's going to be 600 gigawatts, which is a massive jump, at least 600 gigawatts, easy, made in 2024, that's already built in. It's new projects that are literally years out in the making that are going to be baked in for the future. This is already baked in. There's no stopping it at all. There is no stopping, even if the price of silver went up to $100, $200. The projects that were already announced are already baked in. They're going to happen. Absolutely, they are going to happen. Silver is not, it's barely an afterthought in solar panel making these days because everything else is so much more expensive. It's kind of like a car. If one of the electric cars or even the normal cars that have so much electronic componentry these days, if you're selling an electric car and there's, say, 2 to 3 ounces of silver in every electric car, are you going to care if the price doubled, tripled, quadrupled? Let's just say the price of silver goes from $27 today to $100. Will they stop making cars? No, it's only a $300 difference in the manufacturing of the cars. They're still going to use the 100 to 120 million ounces that they used prior. It's price inelastic because such small amounts are used in everything. At solar, I don't know where the point of pain is, probably $500-$600, where they say, oh, maybe we should stop using spraying on the solar, the silver on the panels. Maybe we should invent another way. And they have invented other ways. It's just none of them are as good and as efficient as the silver. Does this make sense? I hope it makes sense to everybody, because this has not stopped and nobody's talking about it. It's insane. For example, here's another article, Chinese PV industry brief. Nationwide solar production increased in the first half of 2024. China's Ministry of Industry and Information Technology, the MIIT, says the country's PV industry recorded significant production increases in the first half of 2024, while Trina Solar has announced a new research collaboration, blah, blah, blah. China's MIIT has reported substantial growth in the country's photovoltaic. Remember, this is growth even bigger than the 76% growth last year. Production in key segments. Polysilicon wafers, cells, modules rose by more than 30% year on year. Polysilicon output jumped 74.9%, while wafer production increased 58%, with 38.3 gigawatts exported. Solar cell production grew 38% to 310 gigawatts, and module production rose 32.8% to 271 gigawatts, with module exports up 20%. Does that sound like an industry that's like, oh my God, we don't have enough silver? No, it is not. It is an industry saying, we have a mandate. China has a mandate, and that mandate is to stop being a polluter, save our planet. And they said, okay, we'll do it. Careful what you ask for, Janet Yellen. That's why Janet Yellen had to go to China and say, would you stop making solar panels and electric cars? It was crazy. That just happened a couple months ago. Why did she say that? Because we're running out of silver. This is all about silver. It always has been about silver. This is the way China and the rest of the world can take the United States down, by doing something good. The silver rigor, it's not just the United States. This will take the banking cabal down. Those people who have rigged the price of silver for so long and are so arrogant, and they can't stop this. These massive solar farms have been planned. It takes years to get them in. So yes, we're going to do over 600 gigawatts of solar this year. Could be 650. And then even more next year, because it's already planned. And it's going to get it up to a terawatt. And they're going to say, oh my God, over 100% of the silver is going just to solar. 100% of the silver mined every year. Where are we going to get it? Where are we going to get it? And why hasn't the price gone up? Same reason it has gone up since the invention of the COMEX, the derivatives market for gold and silver. That has been the bankers' key linchpin of market manipulation, price suppression. And regulators are set up just to cover up the crimes committed on the COMEX price manipulation scam. All right, more. China rules. This is the New York Times. China rules solar energy, but its industry at home is in trouble. The solar sector shows China conducts industrial policy. It chooses industries to dominate, floods them with loans, and lets companies fight it out. How is that trouble? It might be trouble for the individual companies, but what it tells me is China doesn't care about making money through these factories. They care about the quantity produced. That's it. So yes, China makes what? 90% of all the solar panels in the world? Somewhere in that. And solar is absolutely hurting the companies. But remember, one bankrupt company can literally take control of the market because you don't have your debts anymore. If you're bankrupt, means you didn't make enough money to pay off whatever your financial structure is. Did you borrow money? Why didn't you have enough money? Blah, blah, blah. When solar company goes down and they restructure, quote, restructure, all of a sudden their costs don't matter because you've restructured. Everybody gets paid out pennies on the dollar, however it's structured in bankruptcy. But if you're continuing to work, all of a sudden you're the cheapest guy on the block. It's amazing how that works. With China, they don't care about losing or making money. They do care about how many solar panels get produced, and I think on the sidelines do care about how much physical silver they can take from the bankers who control the world. And that's where we are. So yes, China will hit probably a terawatt of production capacity in the next 2 years, is my estimate. By 2026, they'll be able to make a terawatt of solar per year. And it's all going to be TOPCon, which has more silver in it, more silver and more silver. And the jackasses over at the Silver Institute and Metals Focus will figure out new ways to lie on their annual silver survey. And this is quoted all around the world, and it's embarrassing. Every time I hear it, I cringe. Because they are lying to humanity. They're lying to the industries that they're supposed to serve. Yes, I get it. 99.9% of everybody on the planet wants cheap silver because they want cheap stuff. They want solar panels. They want their iPhones. They want their TVs to be as cheap as possible. So you silver investors are fighting, and silver miners are fighting a very, very big uphill battle because everybody is against you. Everybody. If they know it or if they don't know it. You think they may be making those, 50-inch flat screen TVs and selling them for, $300-$400 if silver was, say, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 an ounce? Because there's 1, 2, or 3 ounces in a flat screen TV? That's what they'd be mad about. Oh, it's inflation. It's inflationary. Remember, silver is, what is it now? Less than 50% of its all-time high from 1980. How much money has been printed since 1980? A little bit. Gold's 3 times what it was in 1980. It screams, wake up, people. You are being lied to. You are being manipulated. Jenny Chase works for Bloomberg, and she's highly quoted. She's more honest than some people, but less honest in certain ways. She's less honest about the silver situation. I think it's because her employer, Bloomberg, does not want that information to get out, that we can't keep spending all this silver to put more and more solar panels in. But if the price doesn't go up, it's not going to stop, and it will not stop until the price goes up. It's supply and demand. It's how a free market trades. But we don't have a free market in silver. We have a manipulated market. Anyway, Jenny Chase is saying here in this post, I'm on team no, we will probably not see 1 terawatt of annual installations by 2025. I said 2026. Because it's very hard to see where they would all go. Our forecast is 585 gigawatts for 2024, which is like 80 gigawatts higher than they were at the beginning of the year, and they're going to go up again. It'll be 650. I'm putting a stake in the ground. 650 gigawatts will be installed of solar this year, which is 400 to 500 million ounces of silver. Wow. That's crazy. Yes, of course it's crazy. But it's going to happen that way because of the price distortions in the price of silver. That's what you get, Janet. When you price suppress an asset for too long, you have market distortions. You have manufacturers making the stupidest plans. I mean, there's massive amount of TOPCon manufacturing facilities that have gone in the last 2 years because everything was doing TOPCon. TOPCon has a lot more silver, maybe 50% more silver than the PERC. Some have 60. They're all configured differently. But these guys over at the Silver Institute, here's their latest newsletter. They put out a newsletter like every quarter or every few months. This is the June newsletter. Now, remember, this is supposed to be promoting the silver industry, right? This is the people really pro-silver. Listen to what they talk about and tell me if it's pro-silver price or just fluff to divert people's attention. June of 2024, silver-coated sutures fight wound infections. Now, how much silver is going to be used in a silver-coated suture? None. That's why they can publish an article like this. Nanosilver is increasingly being incorporated into various... yeah, that's fine. I get it. That's not going to use up any silver. Nanosilver is like little specks of silver. But see, these are the kind of articles they produce because they can't say, oh, by the way, solar is going to be at 50% this year. And it's going to use every ounce of silver we thought we had. They can't say that. They can't talk about the truth. So they put ridiculous articles like this up. Extremely high-frequency antennas for wearables and other high-tech devices produced by nanosilver inkjet printers. Nanosilver. Little tiny specks of silver has nothing to do. Will not affect the price at all. Now, here's the other topic. New method of testing for recycling silver from used solar panels and other new method tested and other e-waste. So this would be an anti-silver investor, obviously. If you're all of a sudden able to recycle every single ounce of silver that's ever been put in little tiny pieces all around the world and flat screen TVs and solar panels and all that, that would add a lot to the physical silver inventories. So that's why they put that in there. It's anti-today's silver. What's the problem today? There's not enough physical silver. Hey, we use it in little tiny specks, and oh, by the way, they're going to figure out a way to recycle all this solar silver. I do think they will. But they're not going to have any inventory at all to work with. All this solar silver has gone in the last 5 years. I mean, it's not like there's hundreds of millions of... Well, there might be of the new perk stuff. They can recycle those. But right now, you need over $100, $200 silver to make recycling make sense for the silver. And it's not going to happen any day soon. And all of a sudden, okay, let's just say they take every solar panel that has been used up. Let's just say it went through its lifespan 25 to 35 years, right? When is all the silver going to become available for recyclers? It's in 20 years from now, 30 years from now. It's not sitting there waiting for them. Now, there's new solar panels that can be broken down. What an incredible expense that would be. PERC modules made 2 years ago, and they're going to recycle it for the silver that's in them. But that won't happen at less than $500 an ounce silver. But this is what the Silver Institute puts out. And then there's a podcast with, it's just crazy, Metals Focus, talking with the same guys I sent the email to. Philip Newman, the managing director of Metals Focus, is the guest on this latest podcast of Talking Silver. Newman discusses how Metals Focus gathers data worldwide, not only from public domain, but from sources from its network of information gatherers around the globe who have nurtured sources inside the industry who can supply data not readily available to the general public. That is a smokescreen. Well, where'd you get this? Oh, we have people in the know. So silver, the solar installations can go up 76%, but because we know people, we can say, oh, it only went up 38%. Bullshit, right? Everybody knows it. He also highlighted how the current silver demand and deficit shows no sign of abating in the near future. For the industrial demand as a whole, we have about an 11% rise last year. 11% rise. What the hell is he talking about? But for PV, it was up 64%, a dramatic performance. This is the lie. 64%, right? How did, and it's right here, 64%, photovoltaics, 64% for 2023. Because they're saying it went from 118 to 193. So 2022 was 118 to 193. That's where they get their 64%. But it's in a red box. That means it was changed, right? So what was the real number from 2022? It's right here. Photovoltaics, 140.3. 140 million ounces. They changed it to 118 million ounces right here so that the percentage looks higher. So the percentage looks like 64%. Oh, we had a huge jump from 64%. That's not true. You had a minuscule, well, half of that, exactly half of that. Right here. Here's the two things. This is directly from this website of the Silver Institute. 2022, 140. Right down here, 118. These are two different, it's the exact same thing. All they're trying to do is to hide the truth. So what do they have to do? They have to go back to the entire table of silver supply demand over the last 9 years and change everything just to make it so that it doesn't look like we're using 76% more silver last year and we'll get another 50% the year. They'll do the same thing. They'll do the same. They've done it year after year after year. These numbers are so crazy distorted. Nobody knows what the true supply and demand is. Is that crazy or what? And it's these two guys, well, they're being told to do it, obviously. Philip and Michael, go listen to that. Go to the Silver Institute and listen to that Talking Silver. So if you go to the Silver Institute and you go to publications, this is their June publication. And you can listen to these jokers. It's so embarrassing. But again, and this is what this morning news is all about. We've hit a point where the psychotic lies that come out of Wall Street, that come out of the Silver Institute, Metals Focus, and guys like Jeffrey Christian, CPM Group, he's towing that line like he always does, towing that line of the banksters. That's the problem. We have either morons or criminals running the show. And take your pick on what you want to call them. The problem is it's not right. That's what we try to do at roadtoroad.com. Show you what is right. Well, that's what I got for you today. Might not be able to do the Jenny Moonstone discussion tomorrow, which is always amazing. All you Private Road members, go to the Private Road and check it out. If you want to subscribe to the Private Road, get all the behind-the-scenes scoop before it comes out on YouTube or wherever it's posted, go to roadtoroad.com, click on subscribe today. We're currently giving away 10 Theta, 100 Theta Fuel, and 1,000 T-Drop. Load it on a paper wallet. You don't even have to know how to use cryptos. You take that, you stick it in your safe with your silver, and you pull it out one day and say, holy crap, look what I got from Road to Road a long time ago. People who, we were giving away 0.1 Bitcoin for a while. That's when Bitcoin was like $200. And now that 0.1 Bitcoin's worth a lot of money, like $6,000. So I'm not guaranteeing that this will happen to Theta, but I think it will. Absolutely. I think Theta is going to be the most surprising thing in the next few months that crypto people have even thought about. Nobody's thinking about Theta, except us long, hard Theta people who understand what's happening. The world is changing, and Theta is going to be the railroad tracks that all the future of the internet run on. That's all I got. This is Bix Weir. I'll talk to you.